Okay, great.
Hi, everybody. This is Zen Honeycutt of Moms Across America, and I'm speaking to you today from Mission Viejo, California. We're here with Stephanie Ray from San Clemente. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Zen. How are you?
Great, and I'm so excited to introduce our new product on our website, which is Primary Detox from BioRay. And Stephanie, you are the founder, owner. Tell us a little bit your title. You're going to give us the full story on Primary Detox and why we would use it and all about the product. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, sure. So my name is Stephanie Ray, and I'm CEO and founder of BioRay. We're a 26-year-old company, and my background's in traditional Chinese medicine and biochemistry, and I'm also currently getting my doctorate in naturopathy. So in February, I'll be a naturopathic doctor.
Wow, that's fantastic. One of my dream comes true is combining naturopathy, Chinese medicine, and of course, all kinds of healing, alternative healing, right?
Yes.
And putting that knowledge into detoxing. Now, tell us what this product really is.
Okay. So, for many years, we've had a line of products for practitioners. At BioRay, we actually have 3,000 practitioners that purchase our products directly, our detoxification products. But I could see it was time to make a product for all parents, that they didn't need to know about liver function and, measurement and how many toxins are in my child. So I created Primary Detox. It's got our natural detox factors in it. It's got liver support. So we want to make sure the liver, which is the primary exit route for toxins, that's working really well. And it's clear. Most of our kids and adults in modern cities, our liver is congested, it's full, so toxins aren't leaving very effectively. And then also I've formulated herbs that support the adrenal system. So when we have heavy metals and chemicals and pollution in our system, our body is taxed and stressed. But likewise, as we remove them, we create another kind of stress. So supporting the adrenal system is really important. And I combined all three into Primary Detox. We're doing heavy metal and chemical detoxification. We're supporting the liver detox pathways, and we're also supporting the adrenal system.
Now, when you mentioned Chinese medicine, some people might be skeptical, that's not Western medicine. But my experience is that the Chinese culture, I'm half Chinese, I have to have a disclaimer up front here, so I'm a little bit partial, but my experience is that, or my knowledge of Chinese medicine has been around for 5,000 years, and that many of these herbs or plants or mushrooms that are in this product will have, thousands of years of track record that really goes way back. Is that true?
Yes, what's true is that, yes, they use what we call empirical knowledge. So that means in the beginning of time, before we had microscopes and measurement tools, we used people to measure. So they would watch generation after generation. And in Chinese medicine, they would oftentimes study only one herb in a 10-year period and watch its effect on multiple family members and generations, and they would closely document it. Oh, this is really great for what we would call like a damp condition or a windy condition. A windy condition in Chinese medicine is a cold or a flu. So, they had really poetic ways of naming things. Now, today in modern times, we know that these herbs have beneficial chemical constituents or phytochemicals, plant chemicals. And these are the things that Western medicines actually try to mimic, or they may use them as a basis. Like Valium, for example, that's a flower. So Valium, that's a sedative and a Western medication that requires a prescription, is actually from a plant. So many of our Western medications come from herbs and plants and things like that. In traditional Chinese medicine, we work to use the whole plant, the whole root, the whole leaf. The whole system of a given plant will be utilized for different reasons. And then we brew it together. And with Primary Detox, what we've done is we use a traditional tincture. So we tincture the beneficial phyto benefits out in an alcohol and water concoction or cook. And then we steam off the alcohol, and then we preserve it in natural kosher glycerin. So in naturopathic medicine, glycerin is actually a beneficial moisturizer, both internally and externally. So our shelf life on the product is 5 years, and we've done a lot of pre and post studies to show that it does what we formulated it to do.
Excellent. Well, I'm so glad that you have been studying it and that you have such an extensive background experience. Tell us a little bit more about why people would use this. Actually, I'm going to say something first about that, and then I'd love for you to follow up. First of all, Moms Across America has this product, Primary Detox, on our website as a fundraiser because we, first of all, have had hundreds of requests from people about, can you please put a detox, either program or a suggestion on your website? Because of course we're telling so many people about the problems that are happening in the world. The amount of toxic chemicals that our children and our loved ones are being exposed to is just astronomical. Never before in human history have we been exposed to hundreds, if not thousands, of chemicals a day. There are over 80,000 chemicals that have been put into our environment, our household products, our clothing, our furniture, our food, and it's showing up in our breast milk, our urine, again, our food, and even our medical treatments now, we're seeing them. So it can be very depressing and overwhelming to think about all of these toxic chemicals. And, I've got reverse osmosis on my water filter. My kids are eating organic food, but then, the city decides to spray Roundup on the sidewalk outside of my kid's school. My school doesn't spray it, but the city does. And so my kid comes home and has an asthma attack. These kinds of things we cannot control, whether our neighbor sprays Roundup or not. We have great flyers that we can give you on momsacrossamerica.org, but we can't control that, right? So our children and our loved ones and our pets are being exposed to all kinds of chemicals on a daily basis. And if I find as a mother, if I don't do something about it, my stress and anxiety can create sleeplessness, and that can create disease unto itself, right? So I feel like I need to do something about it. And we looked long and hard for a detox, either program or, supplement that would help moms that was not too expensive and that was not too complicated. I mean, so many people can't do, month-long green drinks and, fasts, and some of those things were just way too complicated. So when a 40-year nutritional expert came to me with this product, Primary Detox, and said, this is the one, I listened, right? And then I did some more research on your company, and I'm very, very happy with seeing all the different testimonials on your website about the variety of different products that you have and the results. And, just seeing that, on the box here says, it helps with poor memory, feeling blue, low energy. You'll notice an improved memory, immune function, energy, and vitality. And, who doesn't want more of that? Mm-hmm. And who doesn't want to get these toxic chemicals out of, their children and their families? So I think this should be a regular part of anybody's regime, and we've been using it with our family, and I'm very happy with it. So tell us a little bit more about why people would use your product.
Well, first of all, you did a great job. So thank you. I mean, it really has been an issue where we do see toxins essentially everywhere. Really, it came from the middle of the century after World War II. We used chemicals and heavy metals in the war effort. And when the war was over, we really liked the commerce it provided, the jobs it provided, and therefore the income for families across America. And so we found multiple ways to use it. And that was mainly to preserve our food and our medicines. Now we see it everywhere. We see it in fabric as fire retardant. We see it as preservatives in shots and medicines. As you did a great job illustrating that, Zen. So I won't go into it too much more. It's in our, in our teeth and our fillings. So, really to circumvent something like that, it's important that we keep those toxins moving down and out of the body. That's the key. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, it's at such a level that our own elimination pathways and the methionine in the kidneys, it's at such a high level that we don't actually make enough to move it out as quickly as it's coming in. That's the issue. So we need some help. And in Primary Detox is a Yayama chlorella. So Yayama is a Japanese word for as close as you could get to organic in U.S. Vernacular. And we use a chlorella. It's a one-celled algae that is grown in fresh water above ground, and we source ours from Taiwan. By the way, we do testing, and you can look at the lot number on the bottom of each bottle that you will ever get from us on any one of our products, and you can go to our website and you can pull down the quality assurance page and click on that lot number, and you will actually see all the lab testing we do on that product. So for example, we do radioactive isotope testing, we do heavy metal testing, we do microbiology testing, making sure there's no pathogenic anything in there. And we do it on every batch because we need to know what's going in our bodies, and particularly our kids' bodies. So because there's toxins everywhere, it's the main way that any family can really circumvent that is by making sure they're moving out of the body every day. And then things don't back up and hold on and create what we call dysbiosis. So dysbiosis is just a way of saying, oh, there's something blocking the pathways in the body. For example, the neuro pathways. Heavy metals have a particular affinity for the neurological system. So they will actually stop normal neurological pathway. And then we're like, well, why am I so foggy brained? Why can't I remember the word just that I was talking about a second ago?
So to clarify, sorry to interrupt you, but that means, so if you have heavy metals in your body, it's going to be drawn to the brain. That's what you said, a particular affinity.
Neurological pathway. So it just depends on the biochemistry. Some people, it will have an affinity for the upper half of the body or the head area. So in traditional Chinese medicine, for example, we would also look at the liver. When the liver's congested, then ammonia has an affinity for the brain. So, if it's too full of toxins and heavy metals, we'll see ammonia rise to the brain. And so, yes, but, to say particularly that heavy metals go to the brain, I can't say that. They really like any kind of adipose tissue or fatty tissue in the body. That's a great place to store it because it keeps it away from the vital organs that keep us alive. So imagine if we didn't have fat, it could just glom onto, some major organ system in the body. But because our bodies are really smart and adaptable, the fat is actually a place where we keep harmful things away from the major organ systems that need to keep us functioning and alive.
Right, but the problem is that it can stay in the fat and stay in your body and can impact your body over time. So it's important to be able to flush that out, and these herbs and plants can help do that.
They do. They have a special, so for chlorella, which is an amazing natural detoxifier, and 42% of the cell wall of chlorella is made up of different types of sponge. However, chlorella has one of the hardest substances in the botanical world. So what we did is we found a way to micronize or break the cell wall at a -10 degrees temperature. So that means we're keeping all the beneficial nutrients in the chlorella. And now we've exposed all that sponge material that's able to bind to toxins. And then we've also been able to get at the interior nuclei inside the diatom. And that's where we have all those beneficial naturally occurring things like glutathione, our B vitamins, folate, chlorella, RNA, DNA, which is so important for our nervous system and particularly our kids. Like in studies, it's actually been shown to help kids' growth by 7%, those that took chlorella. Wow. So really, really helpful for them, those chlorella growth factors. And then I've also formulated in there, as I mentioned, some liver support. So the liver is the primary way that the body takes something that's toxic, makes it less toxic, and decides which way it's going to leave the body, either the urinary route or the fecal route. And so there's herbs that help the liver do that, and mainly things like Himamatsutake, which is an herb, a medicinal mushroom that in Chinese medicine say it actually acts in studies like a food for the liver. It's full of your beta-1,3 and 1,6 glucans, which are foods high in vitamin D, things like that. So, it's really important to keep our organ systems fortified. And unfortunately, today we eat too many white foods. So we're not getting those mushrooms and the grains that are high in the Bs and the complex vitamin systems. So something like Primary Detox, while we're removing toxins, we're also fortifying the body with some essential, naturally occurring vitamins, minerals, amino acids. It's got 18 amino acids in there, naturally occurring, all 8 of the essentials. And then there's even a host of about 12 different probiotics in there that we formulated in.
I noticed that. I absolutely love it because our bodies are being, number one, depleted by, minerals and vitamins. I imagine amino acids as well from glyphosate, the active chemical ingredient in Roundup, which is sprayed in our food and is in our water and contaminated.
And shown to be so hard on the liver.
Yes, and it's hard on the liver, and also it destroys the beneficial gut bacteria. So that's where your the good probiotics are. So you're going to be putting some of those back in. You're going to be supporting your body's ability or you're putting some more amino acids back in, you mentioned, right?
Yep.
And you're going to be supporting your body's ability to detox. I mean, this really is what everybody, I believe, in America and probably around the world needs, that's exposed to, a lot of different forms of different toxins. I do want to mention some other things. I want to keep this short, but I want to mention that it's made in the USA, which is 100%. Great. Yep, made in the USA, and you do test for, because people are worried about aerial spraying, they're spraying all over the place. So you mentioned it was an open above ground water source, but you do test for, of course, contamination by pollutants.
We do. We also make sure that all of our herbs are mostly procured in the United States. So we have growers in New Mexico, Oregon. We get our wild American ginseng from the Catskill Mountains, growers that grow it and harvest it sustainably in upstate New York. And yes, testing is so important because—
So would you say that they're organically grown? Because I don't see an organic—
Many of them are organically grown, yes.
Okay.
It's not, fortunately or unfortunately, our herbs we're all using them. So at different times there'll be shortages of different herbs. So we may have to get them wild crafted. And wild crafted means that we've got people out there that are actually in the high Sierras and they're pulling and putting them in their baskets and they're wild crafted. Those people do not get organic certification.
Right.
So that's why we have a mixed bag of organic and wild crafted ingredients. But we still even test that.
But that's the way our grandmothers harvested, the herbs that they made teas for us. And that's the way it used to be, and I have to say, I love this plant-based detox product because it puts together all the different herbs that I don't have the time and the knowledge to know of, right? And that a lot of our ancestors did. Obviously, they did know about this. And apparently the doctors also at that time, way back when, they had to be able to mix their own medicines. And so they would know about all these different herbs and mushrooms and amino acids and all this. So I'm excited that you put this all together, that you did the research, and that thousands of years of knowledge is combined in this product. And I do want to say, for people who try it, if you don't notice a big difference, right away, I would encourage you to consider that you don't know what's not happening to you. Right? That this is—
That's a great way to put it.
This is a preventative. You're never going to see what could happen to you because it won't happen to you,
Yeah.
And so I really would urge people, like, for instance, my whole family got sprayed by a helicopter by weed killer when we were on our national toxin-free tour, if you can believe it. When we were working at an organic farm, it was right near a neighboring field, which was being sprayed for a invasive weed, right, by their Department of Wildlife Resources. And so we use this product right away, and I don't know what could have happened to us if we had not, right? Yes. I do know it took some time. I mean, my son had nosebleeds for 8 days. We had headaches. We had sore throats. We were definitely neurologically impacted. We were very cranky with each other. But I don't know what might have been worse. You know, I don't know if the nosebleeds would have gone on longer, or if, you know, the neurological damage would have been more severe. I don't know. But I was really glad to have something, you know, to use right away, and to work on getting those toxins out of our bodies, because these metals and these pesticides and chemicals that are we're being inundated with just from our food, never mind being sprayed. You know, I know it's an unusual circumstance. But okay, so is there anything else that you want to say? So we would use this, what, once a day? And I have to say
once or twice.
Once or twice a day. Okay, I've just put it in my kids' smoothies. They don't even taste it. No issue with it. It's pretty inexpensive. There's other detox products out there that are more expensive. This is pretty inexpensive. And you just use one dropper full and put it in there. And
the droppers is marked, so you can see, you know, if you've got a half an ml or a whole ml, and then there's dosage recommended. Dosage is recommended, and yes, you can put it in a smoothie. You can actually bake with this. So we've got a couple of recipes, like for some gluten-free, casein-free cookies and some muffins, but it is actually heat resistant to that level. I wouldn't keep it at boiling for a long time, but actually it's a heat process that we use to extract the beneficial properties of the herbs. For example, reishi mushroom, that's the mushroom on the wall behind me. It's one of the ingredients, and it has to be cooked. It's a woody mushroom, and to get its properties out, it has to be cooked. So you can actually put these, our moms bake with them, but you can put it in water, you can put it in tea, in hot tea, and it really has a very light green, to me, it's like a green flavor, like something fresh.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like mushrooms. I want to say that for the worried moms who have kids. Yeah. And I actually have a kid that at one point had an allergy to mushrooms. He's getting much better, but he has not had any problems with this at all.
That's a different kind of mushroom.
Right. Okay.
So these are medicinal mushrooms, and they, in studies, show and help and assist with those types of issues. In fact, the main liver support in primary detox has been shown to decrease food sensitivities to one child had over 27, and we brought him down to 9. After being on this for 3 months. So
we need to hear that. So many of our moms have children with multiple, food intolerances and allergies. And we need support with that. I also want to mention on here that it's non-GMO, gluten-free, soy-free, and non-dairy, which is great. You mentioned probiotics. Some people might think, are there dairy, probiotics in there? And there are not.
No.
So, so that's great. It just says shake well 1 to 2 times a day in water, juice, or tea, recommended for a minimum of 2 to 4 months as needed, depending upon individual imbalances, and take 1 dropper once a day, 2 to 4 times per week. Don't use during pregnancy or while nursing unless supervised by a physician. And I like that it's Generation Rescue recommended as well. We love Generation Rescue. So thank you very much. Is there anything else that you want to say about Primary Detox before we go?
Thank you for your confidence. Thank you for your trust.
Yeah, we appreciate it so much. Thanks for doing all the research and hard work to give us moms a solution that's easy and simple, that we can put into our daily routine and feel confident that we are doing something about the toxins in our environment. Please go to momsacrossamerica.org, click on Health Solutions Store. A major part of your purchase goes to support Moms Across America, and we greatly appreciate the ability to have this product and offer a solution which fulfills on our mission, which is to create healthy communities. So thank you very much, everyone.